that is one of the more common responses. As we do see ThunderTalk thinking about a rumble for Hoya. Something that he did drop a map on. I believe it was the series against EDG, but...
I believe so, yeah. I think.
Yeah.
Because ThunderTalk, speaking of gentlemen sweeps, they gentlemen swept both their series. So
they dropped game ones to give false hope and then 3-0'd, like Chad's,
So, if BLG take game one, that's right into ThunderTalk's plan. All right, that's all I want to point out there. You know what the funniest part though about Rumble, Cubby, you talked about it. Rumble's such a power pick for a lot of these players, including shout out Bin's Rumble being so good. Its win rate in the LPL was terrible to start. It's a little bit better, but man, is it not good. I think it started 0-7, by the way.
I will say that was because it was being first picked on blue side, and notice how it's, kind of dropped in priority. Anyway. The Sejuani pick puzzles me a little bit, but I think they're setting up for a Yone. Or some sort of melee mid for SeTab. And I will say that if Yone is taken here by Knight, the Sejuani Akali, Sejuani Silas, I think very positive matchups into something like Yone. So yeah, you see the hover from Knight. Doesn't want to take that, find himself in that matchup. Will be SeTab. Likely on a melee, something that has been really good for SeTab in this early season.
He's teasing the other brother. He's played both.
Dude, his Yasuo was nasty.
His Yasuo was very
nasty.
Yeah,
we like that Yasuo. He gets the Yasuo pass for sure.
Without a doubt. Yone going to be locked in here. I feel like ThunderTalk are kind of playing into BLG. I mean, you said it, Knight hover the Yone. He's like, all right, you can pick it. This is my answer to it. Locks the Corki. Zyra Corki immediately into a comp like Sejuani, Yone, Rumble, already solo range, has already scared me for ThunderTalk in this game.
I think that we're really seeing Zyra rise in priority because of how strong the plants are around objectives. Like with the addition of Otacon and just teams kind of figuring out, how to macro in this new season, as well as last season with the addition of Grubs and teams really having that more so figured out. These objective fights have become so big, so important just with the addition of feats, the strength, raw strength of these objectives. And if Zyra is able to get to the river first, something that she does very well given how fast her clear speed is, those plants are so oppressive to get through and walk through. So really seeing Zyra rise in priority, and against an all melee composition at the moment, Zyra is going to feel good if she is not picked. And that's something that I think Kasante does really well going up against melees, just clearing space for your backline to do work. Something that Bin's always been fantastic at. So that said, have a couple bans coming out. Looks like the Ezreal ban. I think it might be a Knight Corki, something that he has piloted for the most part on this team. But curious if we're setting up for something like an Ashe or a Jhin. I feel like something supportive from 1xN to help all the damage it's already showing for ThunderTalk is in the cards.
1xN does have a singular Ashe game. I felt gross watching it up against EDG because I was like, this guy just wants to, delete everybody's health bar in these final fights. He's playing Ashe. He can't do it. So maybe we'll see that in the cards. Love the respect ban given over to Feathers Rakan. We talked about that before we got into the 1v1s. That has been, if you want to say what is the best Feather performance of the split single game, I would say his Rakan games have been the best, so taking that one away is pretty powerful. Misfortune, though, going to be the final ban to round out. Maybe trying to ruin a bit of a wombo coming across between, Yone, Sejuani, Rumble, and the 1xN Ashe. Looks like it is going to come through to complete a Freljordian duo for ThunderTalk.
Curious if we get the Jhin now from Elk. Also have the option to run something like a Caitlyn lane. Caitlyn Braum. I do think that On needs hard engage, so I don't think it's the right game for Caitlyn Braum. I'm going to expect something that can go in for On. And, of course, the Rakan being banned out by BLG. Always a champ you have to be aware of when On's on the Rift. But, yeah, I think Rel's in the cards here. Just get something that goes in and make some space for Zyra Corki, as Rel's going to feel pretty good this game.
I still like the Jhin, too, if you want to lock this one. Kai'Sa would be really aggressive here from Elk because this ThunderTalk comp does kind of want you to get pretty close in range with them. That's where they're deadliest. So leaning towards a Jhin could really just abuse the range that Zyra Corki Jhin can do. A lot of damage over top. But we'll see exactly where Elk wants to land here. Smolder would lean into a lot of the scaling. Corki, Smolder, Zyra, and Kasante. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of scaling damage here, but does kind of make them a bit more passive in those earlier phases, I would say.
Yeah, the first two times that Corki has been picked by BLG, it's gone into the hands of Knight, but I expect this to be the Smolder mid into that Yone matchup, shifting that Corki down bot. You gotta say, Ashe Braum actually deals pretty well with this lane. I think this is an okay draft, actually, for ThunderTalk. You already have main engage from the Sejuani and the Ashe, so Braum being a really supportive pick can be nice. For me, ThunderTalk's just on a timer, at least in the team fight. I think it's really important they're able to get Yone ahead. A big thing for me, K'Sante can really smash Yone in the side lanes if he's accelerated and ends up getting that early Iceborne Gauntlet. I would love to see a lane swap from ThunderTalk, even if I think the 2v2 is really positive for them, just to set K'Sante behind, because if you get Yone with an earlier Bork in the game, if you starve out everyone else, he's going to be able to play both side lanes really well, and then that's going to be your mid-game plan for ThunderTalk. Just go attack the Yone lane, and then use the Rumble to play the other lane, and just, buy a wave of time with the equalizers. So, want to see if ThunderTalk can execute that. This is a comp that's pretty common, seeing this topside core is paired with supported bot lane. I think ThunderTalk has actually done a decent job of piloting their comps so far against worse teams. It's going to have to see if they're up to the task against the Titans of BLG tonight.
Well, Cubby and all the LPL fans at home, it's time to see how Group C will potentially round out here as we get into the first game of the final set between our two 2-0 squads here. And yeah, I'm excited to see where this lane swap goes, because I also think that BLG, it's never bad to lane swap your K'Sante into the 1v2 to try and put the Rumble behind. So, and like you talked about, if you want to get out of the Ashe Braum lane, it's a nice spot there. I think what we're preaching here is we're ending up with a lane swap, and it's just which team can really capitalize on the strengths of said lane swap from either side.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what ends up happening. Also, I will say that ThunderTalk, it should be their choice to see whether they want to swap or not. Their level 1 is much stronger with the Ashe Braum, so really want to see ThunderTalk use some priority level 1 to dictate the map. They should have the choice of whether they want to swap or not. It should be BLG being forced to guess.
That guess goes. We've seen plenty of level 1 shenanigans in the LPL, and we are on to Summoner's Rift for game number 1. Can the Cinderella ThunderTalk squad continue to shock the LPL, grab themselves #1 spot, or are our Titans of the LPL, maybe even the world, get back to the form we always expect of them heading into the playoffs? And we're already seeing a pretty deep ThunderTalk invade here. They are Hoya's getting an award here in between tier 2 and 3 turrets, but Knight with the sweeper start is going to clear one out. Let's plus some solid gold into the scaling smolder early. That's all I'm saying.
Really nice adaptation, actually, from Knight to make sure that he's able to pick up that ward and deny some information on the lane swap. Also a nice ward drop by SeTab. Not sure if this is spotting Elk or not. As the BLG bot lane, of course, have to play a little bit of guessing. They do not want to match the Ashe Braum. They will opt for the lane swap. And it will be both mid laners splitting top laners splitting XP with the mid laners. As we'll see, Hoya is going to play a little bit of defense, but I think that's going to end up being the case. So this does hurt SeTab quite a bit. Knight, Smolder in this scenario, just being the person that is ranged, it's going to be very advantageous for him. We'll see what ends up happening though, is once Hoya and Bin leech 2, if they end up sticking around or going somewhere else.
I think this is just such a powerful start for BLG early, because you've got the Zyra clear speed that's just going to be much faster than Beichuan can really get done. You mentioned Knight and Bin puts SeTab in a tough spot, and you're going to get pushed from On and Elk in the top side, so watch Wei just fly on up towards that top jungle and get a pretty quick clear going already to start kind of that early dominance that we expect from BLG when they're on point, and we'll see how much they can capitalize on it in this early frame.
Yeah, at the moment, so Zyra, I'm actually surprised that Wei went to go check the bot side. That means BLG didn't have priority on that and weren't confident enough to actually take the top side. So Wei did delay himself a little bit, as we're going to have a true handshake here with the swap. No TPs from either top laner to try and collect the waves that were crashing into the respective turrets on opposite sides of the map. Instead, it will just be the bot lane resetting, been able to pick up a plate, and TP, we'll see if it's forced out by Hoya or not. Kind of curious to see what actually ends up happening here. Because Hoya at a TP disadvantage could be kind of tough for that lane matchup. Would allow K'Sante to really throw his weight around more. And yeah, they're actually just going to swap it back out. So, interesting. A kind of potential to starve out Feather and 1xN here if Wei wants to play harass. Let's have a ward here.
I'm going to collect all of the rugs on the back end there. I always find it funny, in the lane swap meta the LPL brings. We just saw both our top laners get a turret plate before they got a creep. This Hoya is going to get jumped on here by On. You can't say that you see that ever often. Actually, I would wager you've never seen it.
Well, you'd have to go back pretty far in league, and then there were no points back then, so agree. Astute point, Slayer. Meanwhile, SeTab. Oh, I wonder if he saw that plan or not.
Well, it does not seem like he did. He's going to step away from the grasping roots, though, and see if Knight and him can just push out enough damage for SeTab to go down. Flash forward from Knight, not going to get it done. SeTab does have to go back to that Spirit form, though, and Wei is waiting, but takes a pretty big turret shot. SeTab is going to end up surviving and trading flashes with Knight.
Yeah, I mean, well played by SeTab, honestly. I thought that when he used the E, he was dead to rights, but was able to pick up enough experience to ding 4, get back, and survive any damage that would have come his way from BLG. A trade of flashes, honestly a trade up for SeTab, because with the Sejuani jungle, that's now something that ThunderTalk can really look to attack in the Smolder, with Knight being flashless. So would love to see ThunderTalk make a visit there, especially if they can time it up like before Grubs. Could be a really nice way to secure the first 3 Grubs, as I really feel like the top side of ThunderTalk, just with the draft they have, should be looking at Grubs early on. They will be stronger at that point of the game. And you can see Wei on this clear. I expect him to hit the Dragon just with the bot lanes being shifted. I think that BLG is signing up to drop these and opting to not fight the deadly level 6 that is this Rumble, Sejuani, Yone combo when, you know, the Grub spawn, the 2 solo laners hit 6, really tough to fight into.
And once that 6 ticks away for SeTab, I'm expecting to see him try and fly in to just blow up Knight with that Fate Sealed. That combo is deadly enough without that flash on the Smolder. So a lot of breathing space opened up here for SeTab, who may not be a rookie, but an LPL rookie nonetheless looking to perform. Hoya, though, we've seen this. We saw this in our clips earlier. It might not be on a tank, but Hoya is used to these 1v3 dives. In the early game, BLG execute it perfectly and get Elk first blood.
A nice visit from Wei skipping over the Dragon to make sure they hit that dive. Very cleanly played by BLG. And Beichuan not quite here in time. Actually went to go play defense. Yoinked it with a spite. Wei actually going to be forced to flash. SeTab could rotate.
They didn't know where Hoya...
Oh, yeah. Wei's going to the hills.
Back in, and SeTab is going to cut it off. No level 6, no Fate Sealed available for SeTab. And now it's not where's Waldo, it's where's Wei. And he is going to try and get himself all the way as close to the base as possible.
Feather.
Will he go for the execute? Does look like it. Wei does not have flash. Feather does, so he's going to flash over the grasping roots. Does not hit the Q, though, and Wei sidesteps himself to an execute. No gold for ThunderTalk.
Oh, that's a bummer. That's a real bummer. Also, just the stall there from Wei. Yes, he's not up, but it really destroyed the ThunderTalk Grub timer on that chase trying to get the kill. So, honestly, a really big win for BLG, the fact that they were able to delay this. They shifted their bot lane back, and now you have a kill on Elk, whose item break point is a lot stronger than what it would have been. So, the BLG maybe thinking about fighting. I still think that with the champs they have, shouldn't end up fighting this just because very weak Smolder.
Good route for Wei. Keeps on safe. Doesn't get that Rom passive stacked over top here. Wave shoved in for 1xn, so Elk gets first roam down, and now the numbers are going to get a bit better, but there's the 6th level Glacial Prison into the equalizer. Ooh. The combo you called out, Cubby, and boy, does it blow up in BLG's face. Stun locks come across onto Knight, who is still flashless on the Smolder, and it's Hoya to flash secure himself. The 3rd kill, feats of strength secured. Wow, ThunderTalk, what a punchback.
I mean, I don't know why BLG is taking the fight. Like, looking at their comp, they have a Smolder. This is not a fight you want to take. I remember watching FlyQuest. The Quad was playing this against TL. They ended up fighting first Grubs. They got 0-4 against a pretty similar comp for no reason. You just do not win at level 6. I don't care how good you are, what ego you have. And well played by Beichuan. He lands the smite, hits 6. Look at how decisive this is from ThunderTalk. This is why we had some hope and why we had them potentially taking a game tonight against BLG, because we've seen them do some things well in terms of fundamental league. Yes, they've been against weaker opponents, but you can't disrespect the comp like this. BLG really not respecting the strength of the TT comp and got rightfully punished for it. So really bad take from BLG.
Back into that, we saw Beichuan get pretty close to having the last Grub stolen, but he secures it. So that is the first monster slaying feat going the way of ThunderTalk as well. No dragon to be taken yet. Wei still has to clear in his entirety, the entirety of his bot camps. So yeah, just even more power to ThunderTalk. And what's most impressive is a lot of ThunderTalk's strength in their wins over EDG and LNG have been in that later phase. Early lanes hasn't always been easy. And the fact that they're probably coming away with their cleanest early game so far of the LPL split against BLG. Just makes it even more impressive.
Yeah, I would still love to see Beichuan. He's going to look top here. His top lane, or bot lane, that is top lane, does need a little bit of help. I do really want to see him try and go mid against Knight, who didn't have Flash available, and his Flash is kind of blacked out.
Again.
Well, no, it's a bug. Yeah, it's coming back up.
There we go.
Yeah, I was actually really hoping that they were able to punish that, so for me, a little bit of a mistimer from Beichuan. Meanwhile, BLG on the punish. Hoya, no Flash, he's dead.
Yeah, that is the classic Wei and Bin
Good ult.
combo. Throw out a couple Valentine's Day hearts, maybe a couple ooh-woos from those two as they pair up.
Oh, no. You know, we have the whole series to throw out an ooh-woo, and you got yours out of the way early. This is from producer Kelsey Moser. It is a Valentine's Day requirement. And we do love Kelsey here, so we're going to have to follow through on this, unfortunately, for all of you. Anyway, Wei, nice sidestep.
Only legs, no follow through on that Glacial Prison shot. The Ash Arrow sinks home, though, and Beichuan is just going to bop Wei in front of Knight. There is nothing lovely or Valentine's Day-esque about that kill.
Yeah, and potential for Dragon here from Beichuan as well off the kill. Really do like how TT, they put their bot lane mid, so they can play either side of the map, finding Wei on the bot side. Easy kill, do pick up the Dragon. We'll say TT getting some wins early. The big concern at the moment, we haven't talked about the Cassante. Given the swap and the grub fight, Hoya did come up to secure a kill. It was important that he actually did get kills because while that was going on, Bin was just farming away in the side lane. Bin is very big and ahead of the curve in this game. Didn't go for that early Iceborne Gauntlet, of course, being against the Rumble. So curious if we actually have SeTab matching the Cassante, because if he is able to get early Bork and finds Cassante in the side lane, that is a very favorable scenario for ThunderTalk, and at the moment they do have that matchup.
We get another replay look there at the combo from Beichuan and Wei. You know, I talked about 1xN, not a fan of him on the Ashe, but certainly helps when he is able to snipe home Ashe arrows like this. And when we're talking about the comp that ThunderTalk have drafted, it really hinders so much on this Ashe and Sejuani to set up, because if we're not landing Glacial Prisons, Ashe arrows coming home, that Equalizer doesn't become as effective. You can't land up the Fate Sealed combos. So it's nice to see that 1xN is embracing more of this setup role, knowing that this series, if they're going to win it, is probably going to go late, and he's going to need those carry-oriented champions much later on.
Yeah, of course, Ashe too. I mean, Ashe can do a lot of damage later on. I think this game's a little bit of a tough task to be Ashe in. Just the Cassante Unstoppable is really tough to deal with as Ashe, and there is a lot of damage that can come out very quickly for 1xN. So we'll see if he's able to position well enough in the fights to get the damage out as Ashe, because if Ashe is able to survive the early onslaught of BLG, Ashe can do a lot of damage throughout the fight, and that's really where 1xN has thrived. Of course, with Hoya having a lot of tank duty, 1xN is second in DPM and damage percentage, really showing how important it is that he is able to pump out the deep, especially when Hoya is playing stuff like the Ornn or the Scion.
We got a boat race here for first turret. It looks like it's going to be pretty comfortably won by Wei and Elk. 1xN and SeTab trying to hammer home, but they just can't match the start that BLG got. So they'll grab that first turret, grab the feats of strength, and that'll actually boost them back into that lead.
It is feats for the turret, but look at the grubs being taken by Beichuan. So that's going to secure the upgraded boots for the game if he's able to get that last grub. And 6 grubs can be really big for a Yone comp. Again, SeTab, he has options to go into the side lane. You're going into the Kanik Rookern, Cassante, or a Smolder in the side. That's very positive for SeTab. Someone that is really big, the big standout for us with ThunderTalk, as that turret does end up falling. 6 grubs have been secured. And now for me, all eyes on SeTab. Again, the game plan when you have this comp, you're going mid-game, it is play through the Yone, and that Rumble will just pick up waves in the side lane. Because ThunderTalk were really committed to taking that top outer, they're not in that formation at the moment. You can see the resets coming in. They're going to try and get to it. And really want to see ThunderTalk overload the bot side, use those 6 grubs with the Yone, and get those plates and get this game rolling.
Definitely got an extra space as well. The fact that they grabbed the first dragon, so they don't have to worry about responding to later Drake takes as easily. I like the call, Cubby. I think leaning into SeTab as an X factor into a 1v1 against anybody at this point is really going to help them, especially when he called out the Blade of the Rune to be completed. But there's the combo again. Glacial Prison, Equalizer, On's health bar shredded. They're flashing on to Wei. On gets over the wall to save himself, but the same cannot be said for his jungler. ThunderTalk might look to chase further. Knight gonna pull up just to stop Hoya in time. But it's yet again ThunderTalk executing their comp pretty fast.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, it was nice, but there was a lot burned there. I don't feel like it was necessarily worth it, because... Oh, hold on.
Ooh, Knight gonna flash away, but the Q3 after from SeTab. He is a melee maestro in the LPL, and he just solo boloed out Knight.
SeTab has been the X factor, the big difference maker for ThunderTalk so far in this group, and he just took down Knight on the Smolder. I was going to say, that play, for me, I didn't love that from ThunderTalk, because BLG had them stuck in topside. They weren't really using their 6 grubs elsewhere, and they burned a lot to just get 1 kill as everyone got out, but now they're going to be able to pick up maybe a second.
Oh, the Ash arrow was up. Yeah, he's 1 versus 3. How does Bin outplay this? He goes all out on the 1xN. The Braum stack is coming across, though. He's going to eat the stun, trying to desperately get back to his teammates, but ThunderTalk are going to cut him off. Gigabin is down. My lord, what has gone into ThunderTalk?
This is the formation you want as ThunderTalk. Rumble can go shift up, catch those waves, and now SeTab, he's going to have push bot. You can collapse in, threaten bot outer, threaten the dragon. And again, our story for ThunderTalk coming in, they've played some decent league against bad teams, like taking 2 3-1 victories. Good to see them. Like, I don't think they've done anything fantastic, super special with their comp. They're sticking to their guns, playing out their comp better than BLG, who, with the Smolder, I think are really playing into them, playing over-aggressive. And ThunderTalk, they have the stronger early team, but they're punishing.
Now that worry we talked about on the silent, hold on, they're just still finding catches here. Owen is way too far up near complete fog. He's going to gift another kill over 1xN. Going to grab that one. Beichuan looking for more, though. Lands a Glacial Prison on the way. Equalizer down as well. The grasping boots will not save him. 9 kills in 15 minutes for ThunderTalk into one of the titans of the LPL to kick off this series.
I mean, just the early fights that BLG took, they're so far behind, and their core in mid, it's so squishy with Zyra Smolder. Beichuan on the Sejuani can just step up, fire off these Glacial Prisons, and there's no contest from BLG. ThunderTalk are deathballing, running over our 2-time defending LPL champs. Let's get a replay of SeTab versus Knight. He's got the level 11 difference. Ends up being pretty nice, because I don't know if Knight actually picked up the heal from that ult or not. That might have been the difference in how he went down. I'll be honest, I didn't catch that one. Might have to check that one again afterwards. And then, yeah, this play, we got the Freljord core. 3 Freljord champs just throwing and mowing down BLG his way. That's his 5th death. Yeah, he's that damn squishy in this game. He's just been ran over by Beichuan and the rest of ThunderTalk.
So much power in ThunderTalk to now really settle in to splitting this map up. They grabbed that second dragon off the back end as well. But at this point, they can pretty confidently, if they continue to execute these combos, fight into BLG. And a question, Cubby, we maybe expected to ask once in a closer match, but not this early on. How do BLG fight their way back in to a ThunderTalk team playing at a different level right now?
At the moment, Elk and Gigabin, they are the ones that are strong. I think that BLG, though, they've really got to sit on their hands until we end up getting 225 on Smolder. I think that 3 items is really the break point where BLG's comp can get back in. They're 2k gold behind, and they're going to have their hands full, because 6 grubs for ThunderTalk. Again, I haven't really seen ThunderTalk overloading as much. I still want to see them try and overload the Yone side and actually really abuse 6 grubs. We only saw them do that to get the top outer. At the moment, they do have Yone top threatening the inner, but BLG is doing a nice job of playing defense to make sure that Yone can't step up. So I think it is really important that ThunderTalk, whatever side of the map they're strong on, that's where Yone has to be, and they have to play into that side. So I want to see that for them in this mid game.
I just can't wait to see SeTab try to go for more of these Yone combos. Gotta think he's just paying complete attention to this double marksman, these flashes, even Way, like you talked about how squishy they are. If a flash is down, Elk, Knight, or Way are trying to answer this Yone. Seeing SeTab still have that killer instinct we saw before we went on the Lunar New Year break, it could be wraps. It's got to be Bin matching this Yone as often as possible, because any other situation, it's just so dire for the rest of the
game. And even that situation's not good, right? Because Bin, he rushed Kanik Rooker, and it's not like he has that early Iceborne that we talked about where you can actually punish the Yone. As, Glacial Prison. I don't love this.
On, gets the crash down through. That's a big Stranglethorns. They're trying to burn the turret before
Bin's here.
Beichuan drops. He does survive. Equalizer used defensively this time, by the way, just to keep ThunderTalk safe. And
wait,
they're going to get out, grabbing that last outer turret.
That was kind of sick from Feather. He hopped in the Rift Herald to actually get himself out. The Herald died, but he was able to buy some space and get out of there. Actually, pretty nice from Feather, as he saved his own life. I thought ThunderTalk for sure overplayed their hands there, and will enable Knight to at least get a few waves of free farm in the top side. Worth noting, Knight is at 180 in terms of his stacks, which is pretty nice for the Smolder at the moment. It's looking like that's going to be about a 22, 23-minute completion, and I feel like that's the real big first big spike for Smolder on that 225, so something to look out for.
Still see SeTab, though, throwing many waves into that bottom lane tier 2. Been not in the spot to really contest, and we'll see just how potent and efficient, importantly, ThunderTalk can continue to be with these ult combinations, these engage tools, because we got Voracious Octagon coming soon, but Own might be caught here. It's going to hop over the wall before the Braum passive stacks through to get this stun, but ThunderTalk are marking this top side as theirs. You can tell they really want to go after that revive buff.
We don't even have to talk about which version of Otacon is spawning in Comp League, unfortunately. Yeah, we know. That's. I'm excited for when they end up finding the right breakpoint to actually have the other one spawn. Because I think the other one's actually absurdly strong. If you're able to get your hands on it, especially if you're up and have a couple Drakes.
I just love the stark, like, differences between solo queue and comp, because I agree with you. Like, competitive, I think the other one is so broken, but in solo queue, it's like,
your teammates get a run it down pass. It's great. Yeah.
The duality of comp versus solo queue. But for now, ThunderTalk are just setting up a pretty good vision line here.
They might hit it on spawn.
Looks like they go after it.
They have a good vision line. Hoya can actually buy some space here. If he's able to slow the approach from BLG, could be worth. Nice hawk shot to get some information from 1xN. And thanks to our... we don't actually see the Otacon. That's 6K. We're pretty healthy here as ThunderTalk. Oh, here comes turn.
Oh, there's a glitch person misses. SeTab goes over the wall, takes a pretty big chunk from Knight. So ThunderTalk, bit discombobulated with their combos this time. Mom raking through as well. Otacon below 4K, not resetting yet, just trying to heal off. ThunderTalk might actually just have to give this buff. Their big go button is down, but the Ash Hero finds Own. In goes SeTab with the Fate Sealed, executes wave of 4. Voracious Outcome goes down. SeTab is going crazy on the backline as he knocks Knight down once more, and now Bin is left with all of ThunderTalk. 1xN gonna flash to safety and find the kill. It's an ace for ThunderTalk in Game 1 against their 2-time champs.
I mean, nameplate's off. You think the ThunderTalk's playing like BLG is ThunderTalk. They're here to play. It's a new year of LPL, a new format, and ThunderTalk trying to change the ways of their organization. As BLG, I felt like they kind of got the gambler's fallacy as, hey, we're down. We can maybe flip this Otacon and maybe get it to go our way, but ThunderTalk with the re-engage, and man, SeTab just been fantastic so far this split. This was a whiff from ThunderTalk, right? The Rumble ult, a little bit preemptive, not in a great spot. BLG, seeing the health bars and seeing Hoya take the walk mid, they're like, hey, we got a 5v4. Maybe we can sneak on in here and turn the tides of this game. Not the case, though. On is the one person that can actually engage for BLG. He is taken out, focused down, and SeTab runs the back line as nothing else can stop him. Bin was stuck in front, dealing with all the slows that this Froyor trio is throwing at him. As GigaBin can't move, and ThunderTalk put the rest of BLG in the bin, as now soul points secured, and we're looking to be cruising to an easy Game 1 victory here for ThunderTalk.
Soul point secured. Revive available for a comp that wants to just fly in with no regard for their safety. The gold leads Balloon to a comfortable spot. Bounties aplenty on everybody except Feather. And everybody in the LPL shock and awe as ThunderTalk continue their Cinderella run. The pumpkin carriage isn't rotting. There's no deadly stepmother coming, at least in game number 1 for this squad.
Man, I mean, I cannot believe what we're seeing with ThunderTalk. Even the biggest ThunderTalk fan, and Kelsey Moser, was like, I think BLG is just going to 3-0. I feel like that was really the difference maker for ThunderTalk, you know? When you don't believe in your favorite team and then they end up showing up, it's huge. That's the true tech right there. Yeah.
I'm going to run out of synonyms quickly if they continue playing the way they are.
Worth noting, Knight just dinged 225 on the Smolder. So he's still a little bit behind the power curve, sitting at Shojin and the Miramana. Potential to still get ran over by the Yone, but ThunderTalk do have to be a little bit more careful in their approach as Knight is found. Good flash out. Way, though.
Oh, they do catch Feather with the Stranglethorn, so there's one revive down. 1xN eats a turret shot. He's going to drop his as well. SeTab over the wall with the Fate Seal is predicted this time by BLG, so they're able to turtle up pretty safely. Keep their turret, knock down a couple revives.
Well, you know, we were talking about the differences of Otacon and Pro and normal play.
That looked like
you know,
solo queue.
It did look like solo queue. The free run it down pass was used there by ThunderTalk. Not as well as I was hoping, but good news for them. New season, 25-minute Baron spawning for ThunderTalk. And that's something where, again, like they still have complete control of the map. Shield bow complete for SeTab, so this Yone is massive in this upcoming fight. There is no flash on SeTab, so potential for BLG to maybe catch him as he goes in, but still, with the way that SeTab has been playing, piloting this Yone, SeTab, his run continues here for ThunderTalk. As, I mean, again, I'm pretty familiar with this guy from LCK and Challengers League, and I was not expecting this when he came over to LPL. He's been nothing but fantastic for this team.
And Cubby, even with that, you know, free run it down pass, you talked about SeTab's flash being down, but with this Baron coming up, if you're BLG, to survive and not give away any kills, you burn
you're out of run it down
and
passes.
Flash.
They're out of run it down passes. They did enough of that, yeah.
They don't. Elk, Knight, and Way just all lost their get out of jail free cards, too. Their flashes are going to be down. They're still just as squishy as ever. If you do not have control of this pit, at BLG, you just cannot step up to stop this Baron. But the problem is, you give this Baron, the game might be over. This is a catch-22 for your two-time champs right now.
Yeah, I mean, my one concern is that ThunderTalk's actually breaking the script of losing game 1 to give false hope and then 3-0ing. So, I mean, we got a lot of things, a lot of moving pieces in this series. But memes aside, Baron has been started, and BLG's on the approach. Beichuan, it goes wide.
It's a good ult. Bin eats the Ash Arrow, equalizer down. Beichuan's flashing after Way. They're trying to knock him down, and he's just easily manipulated. SeTab flies into the Fate Seal. Elk is able to stay safe this time. ThunderTalk have picked off the jungler. Baron has been reset. Hoya able to chunk on pretty low as well. So ThunderTalk are just going to gear back up, reset, and start a Baron that feels even more free than before.
Yeah, really nice equalizer there from Hoya. And Beichuan actually with the Warmogs, I will say, item has been slept on a little bit. Still really like it, especially in games where you do get ahead because you can have this play pattern, right? Take the skirmish, reset, get your health back, return to the objective. As BLG now TP force Baron at 6k, BLG have to do something. No smite.
They're trying to use Gigabit himself to push their way through. He's trying to knock down Hoya, but the Baron is down. Own is far too low. Going to try and crash himself out. He's just going to crash into a gray screen courtesy of Beichuan, and Bin is left to the wayside. Goes all out to try and find the 1v1, but he just can't even find the kill. Hoya stands up. It's Baron at 2 for ThunderTalk as their domination continues.
Oh, I don't think anyone's turning into a pumpkin after this game. It's going to have to wait until game 2 because the Cinderella game from ThunderTalk, it continues. Nothing can go wrong for them in this one since that first grub fight again. I feel like ThunderTalk, they put together some good maps just against worse teams, and BLG, they gave them a gift at the first grub fight, and from there, I've seen a couple ults maybe be desync, maybe go sideways. It hasn't been 100% perfect, but the plan, the direction from ThunderTalk, it's been as good as what we've seen from them in the tape against some of the teams that have been weaker. Again, just love the fact they found the pick on the way, that the Warmog, Sejuani reset, and then, yeah, this fight, like SeTab and Hoya at 2 different angles, really tough to push forward. They don't overextend. They just take Bin, who is too far up. Sejuani takes on who was too far up. They take what is given to them, take the objective in the Baron, turn their sights into the Infernal Soul. As yes, this is Soul secured for ThunderTalk, and they just keep on cruising.
Gold lead over 8,000. Infernal Soul, like you mentioned, into the hands of raw damage-dealing solo laners. We're running out of ways for BLG to really find themselves back into this game. They still have the scaling threat you mentioned of the Smolder, Double Marksman, Azira, but Way in particular, man, 2 items at 28 minutes, that is not going to cut it.
072 is not going to cut it either, as despite having that and 2 items, we still saw 3 Zyra plants take the Braum to half HP, which is definitely why we're seeing Zyra really rise in priority with that and the objective control. As okay, Beichuan, it's cleansed down, and on down.
Out of Elk, he has to back up with the equalizer. Perfect position again from Hoya. The plant's doing work, but just not enough. Owen's going to drop here. Knight stepping up, trying to see if he can get the X2 on a Feather. Really well-timed flash to get away from Mom's Might. And the siege continues for ThunderTalk. As they look to target the base.
I will say, I kind of like how BLG actually...
Oh! SeTab flies in once more, tries to find the dagger, but Wei flashes out, and Knight is able to stay up. That was nearly the game done and dusted.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like how BLG is staying disciplined by just trying to play the base, because it is really tough for ThunderTalk to break it. So yeah, that might have looked crazy from SeTab, but they can't break this base playing standard, even with the lead that they have. So really like SeTab actually throwing himself in there, finding a sum and trying to make a play. Meanwhile, though, Knight, things missing from SeTab.
Flash right over towards Knight, trying to cut him off. Beichuan is cut down.
Good play.
Now, BLG maybe have some breathing room as Knight gets himself to safety. They do lose another turn on the backside, though, as SeTab was left all alone to his devices. So the base being broken 2 times now for Cubby.
I mean, still, I like the TP from Knight. ThunderTalk, they were missing tools, and you have to get desperate at this point of the game. Actually, really good vision from Knight to see that in a game that is so this one-sided. And also, I mean, Smolder, he's usually the person on base duty, but one of the few timers that I think BLG could have punished in this game. So, credit where credit's due. Well played by Knight to find that timer and make sure that ThunderTalk has to reset. I think the real danger for BLG is going to be this upcoming Baron. And really want to see if ThunderTalk can bait BLG out of the base. Again, I think it's really tough for this comp from ThunderTalk to break a Zyra, Smolder, Corki core with a team that pretty much just has to run in. So really going to have to see if they can get them out of the base and use the wider parts of the map around the river, around the Baron, to make sure they can find the fight, find the angles that we've seen them find all game to finish this one up.
Really does feel like one decisive fight will end this one. By this point on, can ThunderTalk just establish that setup? They're looking for a pick now. There's a teleport coming behind in the bot lane. Hoya's trying to push the tempos. They want to force out Wei. Flash ult from Beichuan does not hit, but they section Wei off from the rest of his squad. It's the same rinse and repeat method right now for ThunderTalk. Wei drops first. Owen falls to the might of 1xN. And maybe they didn't need the team fight. Just a couple of picks, and ThunderTalk are looking for more inhibitors.
They did get him out of the base, right? And the disaster game for Wei kind of continues. As 0-8-3, Wei being pushed, ran around the map by Beichuan. I think big story of game 1 is frankly, my MVP. It does go to probably Beichuan, even if SeTab made the flashy plays. But the Sejuani has been really wherever the team is needed. And now SeTab going to try and make one more to wrap this one up.
Bin does interrupt the Fate Sealed, but Nexus turrets are dropping by the minute. Bin's health bar cannot hold for very long as the stuns and 1xN's damage start to stack on his back, but Bin is down. Knight and Elf need to step up as those marksmen to try and cancel out these health bars, but Hoya goes into the stasis. The front line is gone. SeTab flying in for more. But another wave brought in, 1 Nexus turret left. It's the squishies for BLG that need to hold. Equalizer down, Beichuan flying in as they just target the Nexus turret. None of ThunderTalk are dropping, and now they can turn their attention towards the Nexus. Already at half HP, 1xN tried to free fire as the health bars turn blinking, but it looks too darn late here. And what a start for ThunderTalk as they go 1-0 up and hand BLG their first game loss of the split.
Great game 1 from ThunderTalk, and I gotta say, like, BLG, I really don't think they respected the comp in this game. Again, Smolder, you're fighting the first grubs, like, that's when you were the weakest as Smolder as a champion, and you're going into a Yone, into a Rumble that was there, Sejuani too. I just don't think that BLG had the tools to even think about taking a fight like that. And after that, I mean, Wei just got ran on the map by Beichuan. Zyra was found, Zyra was taken down on multiple occasions, and when you get that far behind, when your only front line is Cassante and Rel, the hunting of the Sejuani with the Rumble, with the Yone, your squishies are not safe. And we really saw ThunderTalk do a good job of executing on that. So credit to them. Again, this is a team, I thought they put up good maps against bad competition, and to see them put up another solid map against the top team of LPL, that's really promising moving forward to, for ThunderTalk. They played a pretty solid game, so props to them.
That might be arguably their most impressive game. Maybe,
yeah.
I think the game 3 win over EDG might have looked a bit cleaner as the representative seeing every single ThunderTalk game on the unofficial LPL broadcast. But that one was just so strong. And I'm glad the point you made here. It feels like BLG maybe disrespected how confident ThunderTalk are when they play their style from the jump here, because they gave them that win once those level 6 ticked over, and ever since they had those ultimates, ThunderTalk, they're playing at a confidence level that we now know, at least through one game, is not wavered by even the best of the best here.
Yeah, I mean, the run continues really for ThunderTalk. Like, what's been the story of them pretty much like from the majority of the split? I think it's been SeTab being a standout, 1xN being really solid, and Feather Beichuan just putting together good game plans, playing it out, Hoya doing his job, and it really felt like that was the game for ThunderTalk. Like, I don't think they did too many things that were really special. And keep in mind, like, Hoya really sacked his game to help the team. I think that might be the one thing that was special, because that actually ended up paying off. The fact that he made it to that grub fight, and they found a bonus kill in the back half, at least like with the second grub, that made sure that Hoya, like with that walk being so far behind against Bin, was still able to actually have enough gold to be in the game. And yeah, he was set behind, but it doesn't matter when you're Rumble. I mean, Equalizer does so much damage as long as you have an item or two and place them well. And for the most part, yeah, they were placed really well, and just no way that BLG's comp could deal with that.
No way, indeed. And the even better thing here for ThunderTalk is we saw the SeTab. I guess I'm going to crown it now like the specialty melee champion pool, but it's a pool nonetheless, right? So he's still got the Akali we've been talking about. And maybe we see the Yasuo come out. Maybe. We already saw one of the Blade Brothers, but we haven't seen... We still have yet to get... You know, Feather was on Braum this game. We haven't gotten the Rakan. We haven't got to see him cook in the engages, right? Beichuan got the Sejuani, but he still has a prime pick like Wukong. And then, like you mentioned, Hoya on the Rumble. Now he can dip into his tank pool, which he continues to prove. He could just be the low-resource guy that's still very impactful. The fact that he was able to play that role on Rumble, a champion that kind of does need some gold injection to have the damage, just makes this win even more impressive, and myself even more confident that ThunderTalk might not just get one game, especially for the obvious reason that they took game 1 of potentially 5.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, this fight on screen for me, this was the big one. I just don't know why BLG is here. And SeTab executed it really well, but this is the hard, like, a super hard comp to execute, right? Sejuani presses R, Rumble Yone are on top of that. They found 2. They run down Knight in the back half thanks to Hoya being here as well. Like, again, I just don't get why you're taking that fight if you're BLG with a Smolder. If you're a fan of NA League of Legends, you saw that with FlyQuest against, who they lose to, C9. Yeah. The Smolder comp they ran, like, they tried to fight first grubs on okay conditions, just got ran because, like, you're playing Smolder. And from there, again, the front line of BLG is just non-existent, especially when you have Bin, who has to get resources to contest on side lane. He can only be there for TPs, and when you're that far up in other portions, like, that's what ends up going down. I will say, in that replay, Knight did not get the heal from his ult. I do think that that was a big difference in how he went down between that and being, you know, level 10. If he's 11, maybe gets the heal, can maybe live it. Not the case, though, against SeTab, who moves to 4-0 on melee champions here in split 1.
Yeah, and those melee champions include a Yone and a Yasuo win. So,
and 2 Akali wins, as you highlighted.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we're not talking... if you said, you know, guys 4-0 on melee champions in the current meta, I would assume you're talking, like, a couple Silas games. And good
definitely Yone.
Yeah, definitely Yone. True, that's true. But the fact that
definitely
the first 3 were not Yone is the real redeeming factor. And I love that, you know, I talked about it in the game, but SeTab, I'm going to coin it. This guy's just got a killer instinct, and you saw it in that outplay clip. It's almost like he knew the Fate Seal was going to get flashed over so he could hit the Q3 back in. This guy's playing these 1v1s on these melee champions like he's already hit the Echo ult and knows how they're going to play out if he does these specific things, and that's what makes him the most exciting mid laner right now for me in the LPL, if we're taking this series into account.
I did not see this coming. I mean, this is someone that, like, really kind of bounced around DRX a little bit, just between challengers in the main roster. Like, he had a portion where he was benched, and I mean, I was not expecting this for when, you know, he ended up coming over to ThunderTalk. I just thought SeTab would be fine, but man, it's been really impressive seeing him perform at a level where he just took down Knight on Smolder. Like, Knight was a really good marksman player last year, was a really solid Smolder. It is Knight, right? He's won the last 4 splits of LPL. So, yeah, for him to find the solo kill, take him down like that, outstanding. Again, I still think my player of the game has to be Beichuan, but probably SeTab secondary for sure. A really, really nice game.
As the proverbial ThunderTalk expert, I will say most of the time when I thought they were going to give the MVP to a damage dealer, they do like to give love to the setup guys, those LPL voters. Beichuan grabbed 2 MVPs in their series win against EDG, and I believe Feather got one in there too. So I'm with you. I think Beichuan's going to get it. I also think he does deserve it, but I'm also not going to pretend like giving SeTab the reward for those flashy Yone plays doesn't also bring a smile to my face.
Yeah, I mean, I respect giving it. Yeah, it's Beichuan. I respect it. So far, I got to say, LPL, better hit rate on MVPs than LCK. I do love the KEKW media votes for LCK. That's a fun meme. One of the many funny running jokes they have over there with the Bull-Up product. But yeah, I mean, Beichuan, I got to say, like, this build, too, we've seen a lot of Artsteal Sejuani. I think the understanding of, hey, I'm going up against Smolder, Corki, Zyra. I actually need to go Zeke's and Moggs. And because he was so far ahead early, that Zeke's ended up being really impactful. I think that's a kill he got where it was a snipe from 1xN. Zeke's actually did help slow down Zyra and helped him keep up. I think it was a really smart build away from the current meta, but just the right build for the game. And we saw that Warmogs get really good value around Baron. So Beichuan playing smart with a lot of aspects of his game. Very well-deserved MVP as he continues to have a really, really strong split.
Certainly well-deserved. But with that MVP out of the way, we're going to go to a short break. But before we get there, we got to give some love over to everybody that's been able to support the unofficial LPL broadcast. We're extremely grateful, especially to our Coffee and YouTube subscribers who help level up the show. A lot of the initial payments go into upgrading the broadcast you are now watching, but a huge bulk of it pays on-air talent and content creators that we have on the back end here to get those awesome interviews done that I hope all of you guys have been able to tune into, especially the Feather one, the way ThunderTalk has been playing.
Yeah, shout out to Patty on the Doinby one that just got posted recently as well. It's awesome that we have support from across the pond and then trying to actually talk to these players live and to feed them questions. I was not expecting that when this project being put together, so props to everyone that's gone into doing that, and especially Patty, who's done a really good job with those interviews.
So all you guys and gals at home can subscribe to our Coffee, linked in the chat, to unlock perks like early access to content, like the interviews we've been talking about, and the ability to maybe even ask some of those interview questions for our unique on-site interviews that we've been hyping up from everybody here at the unofficial LPL broadcast. But bringing our focus back in, we are going to take a very short break here, but this series has certainly not started like anybody expected. ThunderTalk up 1-0 over the two-time winning LPL title holders, BLG. The ball is not going to strike midnight anytime soon on this Cinderella story, and we'll see you guys for Game 2 to see if it gets even crazier. See you in a bit.